This morning I'm going to try to show to you how God creates evil. How God creates evil. Because it says that God, let's turn that Bible up, Isaiah 45 and 7. Because this scripture is really misunderstood and misinterpreted. And it's taught wrong. When you look at it, you get the wrong idea about how God does this. So let's go over to 45. Okay. Let's go over to 45. Let's go to Isaiah 45. Let's go to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Let's go to 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 Isaiah 45.
You want something? You say you create evil?
Let's go to Isaiah 45. Just go to Isaiah 45 for now. Isaiah 45. Let's go to Isaiah 45. And let's start, let me see where I want to start reading. Let's go to Isaiah 45.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 45.
Oh, okay.
Isaiah 45.
Okay.
Let's go to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45 first, let's look at 44. Verse number 24. Verse number 24. Isaiah 44, verse 24.
Amen.
Thus said the Lord thy Redeemer,
Okay.
he that formed thee from the womb.
Okay.
I am the Lord that maketh all, I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretch forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. That's the word of God. In the beginning was the word was with God. As a matter of fact, let us turn our Bibles to John. Let us go to 1 John. Let's go to 1 John. Let's go to 1 John. Let's go to 1 John. John chapter 1, verse number 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was the beginning with God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. Let's go to Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. Genesis 2 and Genesis 2 and verse number 4. Genesis 2 and verse number 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Now go over to Isaiah.
Okay.
Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45,
Okay.
verse number 24. Thus said the Lord thy Redeemer, he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord who maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone. Alone is the reason why he's saying this, we're going to see it. That spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrated the tokens of liars, maketh diviners mad, turneth the wise men backward, maketh their knowledge foolishness. Verse 25, what does he do? He frustrated the tokens of the liars, make diviners mad, turneth wise men backward, maketh their knowledge foolish. That confirmeth the word of his servant, performeth the counsel of his message. That said to Jerusalem, you shall be inhabited, and to the cities of Judah you shall be built. I will raise up the decayed places thereof. Thus saith the deep, that said to the deep, be dry, and I will dry up the rivers. He's going to destroy Babylon, that's what he's saying, because Israel has been in captivity since 586 BC. They went in captivity because they wouldn't let the land rest. They had sucked up all the nutrients of the land. They had fell into idolatry, Baal and Ashtaroth tree worship. They was keeping the Christ Mass. They was keeping Easter, all of those heathen holidays. That's where Christ Mass come from, out of Baal and Ashtaroth worship. And God sent them into captivity. That's Benjamin and Judah for 70 years because of their Baal and their tree worship. Let's go over to the book of Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 25. Jeremiah chapter 25. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 25. Jeremiah chapter 25, verse number 9. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, said the Lord. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, will bring them against this land, against the inhabitants thereof, against all these nations round about, will utterly destroy them, make them an astonishment and a hissing, a perpetual desolation. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. This whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. And it shall come to pass when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, said the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it a perpetual desolation. I will bring upon that land all my words I will bring up on that land all my words which I have pronounced against it. That is, all that is written in this book. Talk about the book of Jeremiah. Everything that I had Jeremiah write down, I want to bring it to pass. Everything that's written in the book of Jeremiah, from chapter 1 all the way up to the end of this book. With Jeremiah, who, Lord, thank you. I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it. Even all that is written in this book was Jeremiah prophesied against all the nations, including you. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. And I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their hands. All right, let's go over to Jeremiah 29. Let's go to Jeremiah 29. Let's go to Jeremiah 29. Jeremiah 29 and verse number, what I got here? Jeremiah 29, verse number 10. Jeremiah 29, verse number 1. Now these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem to the residue of the elders which were carried away captive. which were carried away captive, and to the priests and to the prophets, to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. This is the second deportation. You had one in 605 BC. You have one in 596, 97 BC. And then you have one in 586 BC. This is the second one. This is not the final one. The final one is 586 BC. Now these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders which were carried away captives, and to the priests, to the prophets, to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. After that, Jeconiah the king, the queen, the eunuchs, the prince of Judah and Jerusalem, the carpenters, the smiths were departed from Jerusalem by the hand of Elasah, the son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, sent unto Babylon, to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, saying, Thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that I carried away captives, whom I have caused, I did it. I caused it. I want you to pay attention to that. He said, whom I have caused. I want you to pay attention to the language. He said, I have caused it. Whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. By who? By who? Nebuchadnezzar. By who? I hope you guys are paying attention to your Bible. I'm just not reading this. Hope you're paying attention. I caused it by who? It says, verse number 1, carried away captives to the priests and to the prophets, to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. Verse number 4. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried 3 times. Y'all need to pay attention to your Bible. Away from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build you houses, dwell in them, plant gardens, eat the fruit of them. Take you wives, begat sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons, give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there. Where at? Babylon, and not diminished. Where? In Babylon. Seek the peace of the city, whether I, second time he said in Mama Rhonda, I have caused you to be, that is very important.
Captive.
I have caused you to be carried away captive. Pray unto the Lord for it, the peace of the city. For in the peace of the city you shall have peace. For thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, that not your prophets and your divines that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams that you cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, said the Lord. For thus said the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you in causing you to return to this place. Now let's go back over to Isaiah 45. This is the good word that God is going to perform towards them to cause them to return to that place. Isaiah chapter 44. Isaiah chapter 44. Isaiah chapter 44, verse number 28. This is his good word that he said he was going to perform to cause them to return to the place. 44:28. Thus saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, you shall be built, and to the temple your foundation shall be laid. This is the good word that God said that he was going to perform towards the children of Israel in Jeremiah chapter 29. We just read it in Jeremiah 29. In Jeremiah 29 and verse number, in Jeremiah 29 and verse number 10. For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you and causing you to return to this place. We had Isaiah 44, verse number 28. Thus saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd. He is my shepherd and shall perform all my pleasure. That is, even saying to Jerusalem, this is what Cyrus is going to say to Jerusalem, you shall be built into the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. Now let's go over to Ezra. Let's go over to Ezra. Let's go over to the book of Ezra. Let's go to the book of Ezra. Let's go to the book of Ezra. Let's go to the book of Ezra. Right over there by 2nd Chronicles. Go to the book of Ezra. It's by 2nd Chronicles, in case you're having a hard time finding it. Go to the book of Ezra. 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 Chapter 1. Are you there? Amen. Book of Ezra. Book of Ezra. It says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and he put it also in writing, saying, thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he hath charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? Is God be with him? Let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver, gold, with goods, beasts, besides the freewill offering for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. Now let's turn back. Go back over here to Isaiah 45, 44, and 28. That said to Cyrus, he is my shepherd, shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, you shall be built to the temple, your foundation shall be laid. We go back over to Ezra, we go to chapter number 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. That was in Jeremiah chapter 29, we just read it. By the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. We just read it in Jeremiah 25. We just read it in Jeremiah 29. That everything that Jeremiah wrote in the book, God was going to bring it to pass. We go back to Jeremiah. You got to go back to Jeremiah. We go back to Jeremiah 25. We go back to Jeremiah 25. We go back to Jeremiah 25. Go back to Jeremiah 25, and you go to verse 13, 25, 13. I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book which Jeremiah hath prophesied against all nations. You go to chapter 29, you go to verse number 10. For thus says the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished, at Babylon I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, and causing you to return to the place. You go to back to 45. This is the good word. This is the good word. 44, 28. I don't know why y'all not holding your places. That's on you. 44, 28. Thus said Cyrus, he is my shepherd, shall perform all my pleasure. What is his pleasure? What is his pleasure? His pleasure is his good word in 29 and 10 of Jeremiah. 29 and 10 of Jeremiah, I will visit you and perform my good word. His good word is all his pleasure in Isaiah 44 and 28. Ezra chapter 1, verse number 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, which is all his pleasure, which is his good word, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia. Why Cyrus? Because Cyrus is his shepherd. He calls Cyrus the shepherd. Isaiah 44, 28, thus said to Cyrus, he is my shepherd. So now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord might be, by the mouth of Jeremiah, might be fulfilled. That word of the Lord he's talking about is in Jeremiah 29 and 10. That's his good word. the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah. What was that word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah? The word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah was his good word. But thus said the Lord, that after 70 years, Isaiah 29:10, you should have it by now. But thus said the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished, at Babylon I will visit you and perform my good word. What was his good word? His good word was all his pleasure. His good word is in Isaiah 44:28. His good word is all his pleasure. So you got Isaiah, you got Jeremiah 29:10, Isaiah 44:28, and Ezra 1:1. All of them go together. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah. What word,
Jeremiah 29:10.
What word?
Got the after 70 years.
What word, Lolita?
The good word.
The good word. Thank you very much. Go back again. I will perform my good word. That's Jeremiah said it. When Jeremiah 29:10, you go to Ezra 1:1, it says that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah. What was the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah? That after 70 years be accomplished, at Babylon I will visit you and perform my good word. His good word was 44:28. Thus said to Cyrus, he is my shepherd, shall perform all my pleasure, saying to Jerusalem, you shall be built, and to the temple your foundation shall be laid. What is that, Lolita? That's his good word. That's Isaiah 44:28. That's his good word. What is his good word? His good word is, you shall be built, and to the temple your foundation shall be laid. That's what he said to Jerusalem. That's the good word that he spoke by the mouth of Jeremiah in Jeremiah 29:10. He said it in Jeremiah 29:10. Isaiah's prophesying that God is going to perform it. Ezra, the prophecy come to pass. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah be fulfilled. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus. That means he opened his eyes, he awakened him. He stirred up his spirit. I get to teach and stir up a later time, but I want to teach on how God brings about evil. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia. Then he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom. Put it also in writing. Once you put it in writing, you could not alter it. You could not change it. Once it was in writing, that was it. That's what happened to Daniel. You put it in writing, they signed when they had a proclamation throughout Persia. They said if anyone was caught praying, they'd be thrown in the lion's den. Daniel opened his window, looked to the east. They knew what time Daniel was praying, and Daniel was caught praying. They had put it in writing that anybody got caught praying, they go in the last day, and that's what happened to them. As a matter of fact, let's go to Daniel chapter 6. So I can show you. Let's go to Daniel chapter 6. Your place, don't be losing your place. I'm not going to keep telling y'all that. Don't lose your places. I'm going to be gone, you're going to forget. Don't lose your places. I'm not finished with none of that. Daniel chapter 6. Look at Daniel chapter 6, verse number... Daniel chapter 6, verse number, Daniel chapter 6, verse number 4. Are you there? Amen. It said that the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find no occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said, Thus unto him, King Darius live forever. All the presidents and the kingdom, the governors, the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of you, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed, altereth, passed away, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth, take away, passing not. Once it was made a statute, it was established forever. You couldn't alter it, you couldn't change it at all. It wasn't like a statute in the United States of America. They made laws and they changed. Not in Media Persia. The law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not, wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled down upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days except of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Once they put it in law, once they made it a statute, made a decree, they signed it. Once they signed it, once they made it a statute and signed a decree, you could not alter it. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh this petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he had heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians, and no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Darius loved Daniel. He didn't have no fault with that. But they was trying to find an occasion against that. Back over to Ezra. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord might by the mouth of Jeremiah be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation through all his kingdom and put it also in writing. Can't change it. Say, thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth. He hath charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? Is God with them? And let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem. Whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver, gold, goods, these free will offerings for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. Now go to 2 Chronicles, right across the page. Verse number 22, 2 Chronicles 36:22. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord spoken by Dr. Jeremiah might be accomplished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation for all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kings of the earth have the Lord God of heaven given me. He hath charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who was there among you of all his people? The Lord, his God, be with him. Let him go up. That was the first decree of 538 BC. In 538 BC, he destroyed Babylon. In 539 BC, he destroyed Babylon in 539 BC. Back over to Isaiah. Am I through with that? Yep, I'm through with that. Am I through with that? Yep, I'm through with that. Now I'm at Isaiah chapter 45. Chapter 45. Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus. Who was Cyrus? Cyrus is his shepherd. He called Nebuchadnezzar his servant. He called Cyrus his shepherd. You look down at the bottom of your Bible. Those of you who got Schofield Bible say 45:1. The only instance where the word is applied to a Gentile, that's the word shepherd. Anointed. Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus. The only instance or the place or example where the word is applied to a Gentile. Nebuchadnezzar is called the servant of Jehovah. Jeremiah 25:9, 27:6, 43:10. This with the designation not shepherd, Isaiah 44:28. Also messianic title marks Cyrus as the startling exception, a Gentile type of Christ. The points are both are irresistible conquerors of Israel's enemies, Isaiah 45:1. Revelation 19 through 21, both are restorers of the holy city, Isaiah 44 and 28. Isaiah 44:28, we just read that. Zechariah 14:1 through 11. Through both is the name of the one true God glorified. Isaiah 45:6, 1 Corinthians 15:28. We're going to read Isaiah in a few minutes. Let me catch my breath. So Cyrus destroys Babylon. And in destroying Babylon, Israel, the captives of Israel, is permitted, they've been in captivity for 70 years now, permitted to go back to Jerusalem. And they go back to Jerusalem to build the temple and to build the city. They go back to build the city and the temple. That's what they do. It goes back and does that. Through Cyrus. It's called the Redeemer, or Anointed One, or Deliverer. God calls him the Shepherd. Okay. Now, we're in Isaiah 45. How much time do I get? Let me see. Can I do this? Maybe I do this. Let's go back up to verse number 27. It said, thus said, that said to the deep. I'm at 44:27. I said up to 27. Did I not?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I want to make sure. Thus said, that said to the deep, be dry, this is God, and I will dry up the rivers. He dried up the rivers so Cyrus can go across on dry land so that he can destroy Babylon. This is called Cyropedia, the education of Cyrus. It's called Cyropedia. It talks about the education of Cyrus. This is what it's talking about. This is written by Xenophon. It's one of the best books they got out on Cyrus. So I'm going to read you something about Cyrus, about him destroying Babylon. Let's look at some of these. Before I go there, let me read some of these. Let's read this. Look at verse number 1. Are you there? Are you there?
Amen.
I'm at 45:1.
Amen.
Then I'll go back up to 27. Just follow me. Don't tell me where I was, just follow me. Because it's all over the Bible. Because it's there also recorded in Isaiah 13. All these places is all over the Bible. So I'm going to them as I get to them. So where I tell you to go? Right, let me stay here.
Okay.
Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden. For what? To subdue nations before him. I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the 2-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. Let's deal with this. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Go to Jeremiah 50. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Let's go to Jeremiah 50.
Amen.
Look at verse number. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Look at verse 25. Let's look at verse number 24.
Okay.
Jeremiah 50, 24.
Okay.
We'll read that. Are y'all there?
Amen.
This is the destruction of Babylon. This is against Babylon. It started chapter 50, but we can't read all that now because I'm trying to get to a certain thing. Verse 24. Are you there? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. You was not aware. You was not aware. You was not aware. You didn't even know what was happening. You are found also caught, because you have striven against the Lord. The Lord had opened his armory and brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts in the land of Chaldea. The Lord had opened his armory and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation. That is Cyrus. That's Cyrus. For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border. He's given a detailed picture of Persia coming with Cyrus. The Persians, the Medes and the Persians, coming up under the rule of the Medes and the Persians, up under the rule of Cyrus. The leadership of Cyrus, and they coming to destroy Babylon. This is Jeremiah prophesying against them. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their days come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. That's 2 Corinthians 36 and 19, where they pillaged the temple of God and burned it to the ground. Call together the archers against Babylon. What archers, Carol? What archers are? What archers, Lolita? What archers, JD? Thank you very much. So y'all getting lost. Wow. This is a detailed picture of Cyrus coming against Babylon. Who's going to destroy Babylon? Cyrus the Persian. Cyrus the Persian is going to destroy Babylon. Y'all with me? Yes. All right. Let's try it again. Cyrus the Persian. I didn't read all those scriptures for nothing. Cyrus the Persian is God's shepherd. It's God's anointed that he's bringing against Babylon. Okay, y'all? Okay? All right, now let's try it again. I don't know how y'all get lost. I really don't. I have laid a snare for thee, and you art also taken, O Babylon. By who are?
Cyrus the Persian.
Thank you, you was not aware of who are?
Cyrus the Persian.
Thank you, you are found. By who are?
Cyrus the Persian.
And also caught. By who are?
Cyrus the Persian.
Because the Lord has striven against, because you, Babylon, have striven against the Lord. The Lord had opened up his army, and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. What is the weapons of his indignation?
Cyrus the Persian.
For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border. Who was he talking to?
Cyrus, Babylon.
Who was he talking to, JD?
He's talking to Babylon.
No, he's not. Come against her from the utmost border. Who is he talking to?
Cyrus.
Thank you very much. Come against her. Open her storehouse. Who's he talking to, Jeremiah?
Cyrus.
Cast her up as heaps. Was he talking about? Marita?
Cyrus.
Destroy her utterly. Who was he talking to, Marita?
Cyrus.
Let nothing of her be left. Slay all the bullocks. Who we talking to, Charles?
Cyrus.
Let them go down to the slaughter. Who we talking to, Charles?
Cyrus.
Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. By who, Charles?
Cyrus.
The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. They had destroyed the temple. Go to 2 Chronicles 36. Man, I got to go through all this. Let up, Charles.
Let's do it.
It's detailed.
Let's do it.
2 Chronicles 36.
Do it. Let's do it.
2 Chronicles 36.
Let's do it.
2 Chronicles 36.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Verse number, 2 Chronicles 36, verse number 19. Are you there?
Amen.
Verse number 16. Verse number 15. And the Lord God of their father, 2 Chronicles 36:15. And y'all Bible to see it, you say it's final deportation and captivity of Judah and Babylon. 2 Kings 25:1-17, you can read it there too. The Lord God of their fathers sent to them by his messengers rising up big times and city, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. They mocked the messengers of God, that's the prophets, despised his words, mocked the messenger, despised his words, and brought destruction upon themselves. Then they don't live. That's how you bring destruction upon yourself. That's how you ruin yourself. That's how you destroy yourself. When you mock the messenger of God and despise his words, misuse his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy. When you found out that you were in straits, can't get out of them, may not be no remedy for your life. And I told y'all a long time ago, y'all make these decisions on what you're going to do in the world. It'll go smooth for you for a while. It'll go smooth. No bumps, no bruises. You just ride along and everything's smooth. And then before you know it, fall. You always trying to get back up. And every time you get back up, something else comes. Then you fall even further. You fall. Then you try to get back up. As soon as you get back up, you think you don't made it back up, something else happens. Now you got two things. Then you rise up a little bit, bad more, and you fall a little more. Now you got three things. No remedy. There's no remedy. It'll go good for a while. It'll go good, you'll be thinking, oh, Dennis, the preacher, that ain't nothing. He just don't want me to have nothing. Oh, he just said anything. No remedy. You never come out. You'll kill yourself trying to get out. You'll kill yourself trying to get out. You mock the messenger because you mock the messenger of God. You can't mock the messenger of God. It's fast the word again. You don't have to tell nobody to say nothing. We'll find out. It'll be revealed for the congregation. Go over there and read the book. Go over there and read the book of Proverbs. You ain't got to say nothing about what you're going through. Don't open your mouth. God revealed it to the congregation. He said in Proverbs 26. You ain't got to say nothing and let nobody know what's going on, because you don't want them to know that he's beating you down and the word of the Lord or the prophet don't came to pass in your life. You ain't got to open your mouth. We'll know eventually. When you try to hide it, because you mock the messenger. You despise his words. Misuse the prophet. Until the wrath of the Lord. Said God had compassion on them then. Yes, he did. The Lord of God of their father sent to them by his messengers rising up big time, sending because he had compassion. But you was mocking. He had compassion. Leave us alone. Don't buy that. Get out of there. Stop buying this. Stop covering it. Stop doing it. You mock. Oh, he just wants to have done. God said we can use the word, but don't use the word. All these doggone excuses. Every time you look around, as soon as you get in, what? And then you say, all right, you're making all right, man, we're going to be out of this in a few minutes. What? Oh, man, we'll be out of this in a few minutes. We almost done. What? No remedy. Why? Why? You mock the messenger of God, despised his words, misused his prophet, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people. Till there was no remedy. Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldeans, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary. Did you see where he killed them at, y'all? Yes. What were they, child, in the church?
Sanctuary, yep.
Sacrifice them. They was in the church shouting.
Yep.
What do you think he's doing to it right now? What do you think he's doing to it right now? Have you just had that bomb explode down there?
Synagogue.
They shooting in that synagogue? All these people, see, they calling themselves, they're not his people. They call themselves his people. That's why the Bible, Regina said they his people. Because they acknowledge to the world, I'm a child of God. I'm his people. But you don't listen to nothing that the word of God is saying. They ain't ready. So you see all across this country right now, all across this world right now, you see these cathedrals burn up. You see these synagogues be burned up. You see these Baptists, these denominational churches catching on fire and everything happening because they call themselves by his name, but they're not his people. They not. This church is the called out. calling themselves his people. They no remedy. They don't belong to God. They in the world. They got their Christmas. They got their birthdays. They want to keep all of this stuff in America. They try to covet, want to have all this property and everything in America. Want a nice, big, fine, white folk house and everything. They're calling themselves God's people. No, you're not. You're not a child of God. First thing, like I told you about these sports players, the first thing they do, so they say, oh, I bless, thank God. Oh, I'm by the grace of God. I thank God that He gave me the ability to do that. Yeah, He gave you the ability to break that baby's arm too, didn't He? He gave you the ability to break that little baby's arms too, and punch him in the chest, and he's 3 years old. Huh? He gave you the ability to do that.
Was on.
Yeah, he didn't know it. He didn't know God was listening.
Yeah, God was listening.
That's what I try to get people to understand. You don't have to listen to me. You know what? When you despise me, you despise the word. I don't care what you say and what you think. You make yourself believe what you want to believe. You ain't got to tell me nothing about it. Say, preacher, help me, please. Tell me what can I do. Keep trying to get yourself out. You keep getting deeper, 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 deeper. Then there is no remedy. There's no more pain. There's no physician. You through now. But you mock God. The Lord God of their father sent to them by his messengers rising up big time sinning because he had compassion. Why do you think he keeps chasing you and correcting you and reproving you and instructing you? He's having compassion when he rebuked you. When he reproved, what do you think the messengers was doing? They weren't going down there telling them everything was going to be all right. They was telling them to repent. Because God was having compassion on them then. The compassion was the rebuke, Carol. Every one of them prophets he sent to them, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Micah, he was rebuking them, Regina. He wasn't telling them everything was going to be all right. He was telling them to leave Christmas alone. Stop worshiping Easter. Stop worshiping your birthday. Stop coveting that stuff that the heathen got. Leave it alone. And you mock God message. I can have what I have. We just don't want to have nothing wrong with it. We can use the world, but we don't abuse the world. Then it ain't no deliverance, ain't no healing, Carol. No more pain. What do you think it was doing? What do y'all think the prophets was telling them when they came? Come out of Babylon. Leave these nations alone. Stop going to Assyria. Stop going into Egypt asking for help. Rest. Be still. No. They kept running down to Assyria. They kept running to that heathen. They kept running to Egypt. When they couldn't run to Egypt, they run to Assyria. They couldn't run to Assyria, they run to Egypt. Couldn't, then they go to Babylon. Then they make a deal with this nation. Then they make a deal with these people. As soon as they got in debt with one, they went and borrowed from another. As soon as they got in debt with them, they couldn't pay them, they go back to the other.
Just like Mary.
Preach, just like us, right? The Lord God of their father sent to them as messengers rising up deep time sinning because he had. Because, why he sent them to you? Why is he rebuking you? Compassion. Why is he rebuking you, reproving you, instructing you, restraining you, chastening you, convicting you, correcting you? Compassion. It's called compassion. You call it evil. You call rebuke evil. You call reproof evil. You call correction evil. You call chastening evil. You call restraint evil. You telling me what to do. This my money. I can do what I want to. Okay? He had compassion on his people and his dwelling place. They mocked the messengers of God, despised his word, and used his prophets until God's sick of them now. Until. That's it. Until. Space to repent, God. Until. The wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy. Ain't no remedy for the professing church. Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldeans, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary. Had no compassion upon young men or maiden, old man, or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand. All the vessels of the house of God, great, small, treasures of the house of the Lord, treasures of the king, of his princes, all these he brought to Babylon. They burnt the house of God. 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 Break down the wall of Jerusalem. Burn all the palaces thereof with fire. Destroy all the goodly vessels thereof. and them that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon, where they were servants to him and his sons, until the reign of the kingdom of Persia. To fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, to the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths for as long as she lay desolate. She kept Sabbath to fulfill 70 years. All right, so we go back over to chapter 50. Verse number 25.
Okay.
Verse number 26. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, destroy her utterly, let nothing be left of her. Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter, woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. We just read that. Call together the archers against Babylon. What archers? Sires. All ye that bend the bow camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work. According to all that she hath done, do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, said the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud Babylon, said the Lord of hosts, for the day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, none shall raise them up. I will kindle a fire in his cities, and shall devour all around about him. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. All that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Sword is upon the Chaldeans, said the Lord, upon the inhabitants of Babylon, upon her princes, upon her wise men. Sword is upon the liars, they shall dote, be foolish. A sword is upon her mighty men, they shall be dismayed. Sword is upon their houses, upon their chariots, upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. They shall become as women. Timorous, faint, weak, unable to defend themselves. A sword is upon her treasure, they shall be robbed. Here we go right here. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Sound just like America. It's the land of graven images. Everywhere you go, you got statues. Everywhere you look in America, you got graven images. Go to sports, they got the graven images. Go downtown, they got the graven images. Everywhere you look in America, they got graven images. It's a land of graven images. All right. Let's go to 51. We're looking at the water. Verse number 38 again. A drought is upon her waters. They shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images. They are mad upon their idols. 51. Still talking about Babylon. Still talking about Babylon. 51, verse number 30. 51:29. 51:28. 51:28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers of the Medes, and all the land of the Medes' dominion. There goes Cyrus right there. The land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against every purpose, every detail lock. Everything he said, every detail lock. Every detail lock. Every detail. That's what every detail. He gave it to him in detail exactly what he was going to do, and he did. Every detail God said against your life is going to be done exactly like God said it's going to be done. Prepare against other nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of Israel. Every detail, everything Jeremiah said was performed in detail. Everything Jeremiah said out of his mouth. Everything, that's what I told y'all about a week ago. Everything I said in my mouth is going to come to pass in your life. Detail. If it don't, then God ain't told me to preach it. It ain't for you. I lied. It ain't the word. Prepare against her prepared yourself the nations with the kings of the Medes. Look at that. Not only the kings of the Medes, gonna have the nations against them too. Because Cyrus is the world ruler. So all the nations is bound to Cyrus, and they coming with Cyrus against Babylon. Cyrus is the bear. The bear, Cyrus, the Medes and the Persian, had the largest armies that ever were. Cyrus is the bear. And the image that Daniel sees in the second chapter of the book of Daniel, and in the sixth chapter of the book of Daniel, Cyrus is the Persian bear. I ain't teaching y'all all that right now. I'll teach y'all later because I want to do the evil. And I went too far already. Prepare yourself the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every detail of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon. When God speaks judgment against you, every detail he speaks is done. To make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They have become as women. They have burnt their dwelling places, our bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that the city is taken at one end. And the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are frightened. Look at 44:27. Did we do 44:27? Look at 44:27. Look at 44:27. Jeremiah, Isaiah 44:27. We did that. Look at Jeremiah 44:27. Look at it. Jeremiah 44:27 again. You got it?
Amen.
Jeremiah 44:27. Read out 44:27.
Behold, I will watch over them for evil and not for good.
Oh, Isaiah.
Isaiah 44:27. Isaiah 44:27. Isaiah 44:27. Thus said the Lord, be dry, and I will dry up the rivers. Let's go to Daniel chapter 5. Let's go to Daniel chapter 5. 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 Oh, I'm not reading all this.
Okay. So, what do you think? I think.
Daniel chapter 5, verse number.
Right.
Can I read this stuff for you? Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drank wine before the 1,000. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the gold and the silver vessels with his father Nebuchadnezzar, and taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem, that the king and priests, his wives, and his concubines might drink therein. They want to drink out of the golden vessels and out of all the bowls and the cups that Nebuchadnezzar took out of the temple of God. They're going to use them in their drunken festival. Said it was keeping a festive thing. I'm going to read it in this book in a minute. This is Cyrus coming in and destroying Babylon. This is the night that Cyrus came in and destroyed Babylon. This is the night. Belshazzar, I'm in verse number 1. Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drank wine before the 1,000. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the gold and the silver vessel, which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem in 586 BC. What we just read in 2 Chronicles. That the kings and the princes, his wives and his concubines might drink therein. They drinking out the gold and silver vessels of God. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was at Jerusalem. Told you 2 times, Lolita, and told you twice. It told you once in verse number 2, and it told you again in verse number 3. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. How did they do this, Lolita? How did they do it, Lolita? How did they praise? How did they drink wine and praise the gods of gold and silver and brass and iron and wood and of stone? How did they do it? How? You don't know. You take it too long. You don't know. How they do it, Eric?
When they drank out of the golden and silver vessels, which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was in Jerusalem.
Thank you very much. Verse number 3 again. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple. Say it 2 times, don't it, Eric?
Yes.
Taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem. Right, Eric? Then it say taken out of the temple of the house of God which was in Jerusalem. Verse 3. Right, Eric?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Eric has really learned how to pay attention now. Eric really learning how to pay attention. That's why I keep drilling. The reason I keep acting, because I want him to keep learning. I don't want him to never get comfortable and think that he got it. You hear what I'm saying, Eric? Don't never get comfortable, Eric, and think you got it. That's what many make their mistake. That they hear this stuff one time and they think they got it. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was in Jerusalem. That's why I tell y'all to pay attention. That the king and his prince and his wives and his concubines, they drank therein. Why was they drinking this? Why was they doing this? Because Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drank wine before the 1,000. That's why they doing it. I ain't went nowhere but 3 verses. 4 verses tell you everything that was going on. Go home again and read these 4 verses. Ask yourself the question so you can answer. Because you ain't going to get it today. You're not. You're not going to understand it today. Verse number 4, they drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver and of brass and of iron and wood and of stone. What are they doing this at a great feast. In the same hour came forth 4 fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loose and his knees smote one against another. King cried aloud to bring in astrologers, Chaldeans, soothsayers. King spake, said to the wise men of Babylon, whoever shall read this writing, show me the interpretation thereof, shall be clothed with scarlet, have a chain of gold round about his neck, and shall be the 3rd ruler in the kingdom. 3rd ruler in the kingdom. His daddy Nabonidus. His daddy Nabonidus. He was the king. He had left this time. He had left his son in charge, left him in charge, and he was out building these temples to his other gods. So he left him in charge. He said, whoever interpreted the dream, he'll be 3rd in charge. So daddy was 1st, he was 2nd. Whoever interpreted the dream, he'll be 3rd in the kingdom. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known unto the king the interpretation. Why they can't understand the writing? Why they cannot understand the writing? Because the writing is of God and they are not God's people. God's people cannot, the people that is not of God cannot understand the revelation. If you're not called of God, you can't understand the writing, Mama Rhonda. You can read the book all you want to. You can call in any interpreter you want to talk to. If God will give you a revelation, you can't understand the writing. You best believe that. Don't y'all ever forget that. If you're not God's people, you're never going to understand the writing. That's why they can't understand the writing. They're not God's people. They're Chaldeans. They're not Israelites. If you're not in the church, you ain't going to understand the writing. You never can understand the writing. I don't care how much you read, you ain't going to never understand. They could not read the writing. They could not, Regina, read the writing. Why? Not God's people, no revelation. Verse number 8. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing. Thomas Paine, Thomas Jefferson, they can't read the writing. They're not God's people. You got all these people that are laying on hands and casting out devils. They can't read the writing. They don't understand the revelation. They're not God's people. The devil is cast out by the word. Everybody laying no hands on you. The only hands laying on you is the power of the Holy Spirit. Jesus cast out devils by his word, the Bible says. You got these people talking about they're going to put some hands on you and cast out a doggone devil. You is the devil. There is the devil. Amen. I mean it. Amen. I'm not standing for no joke. They is the ones who try to distribute fortunes in your life. He cast out devils with his word. The devils is cast out when the Holy Spirit write the word upon your heart. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the interpretation. Why? They not God's people. They can't read the writing. They ain't God's people. Then was King Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him. His lords were astonished. Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came to the banquet house, and the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not your thoughts trouble thee, nor let your countenance be changed. There is a man in your kingdom in whom the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the God, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, your father, the king, I say your father, that's his grandfather, they call him father, made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers, for as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams and showing of far sentences, absolving of doubts, were found in the same Daniel. He got the word. That's all that means. He got the word. Excellent spirit. You got the word. Knowledge. Word. Understanding, interpreting of dreams by the word. Showing of far sentences by the word. Dissolving of doubts with the word of God. With the word. Were found in the same Daniel. He had the word, whom the king named Belshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, he will show thee the interpretation. Why? What? Why are you going to show him the interpretation?
His excellent spirit.
No, why is he going to show him the interpretation? He can read the writing. You got to be able to read the writing. Verse number 8, then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing. You got to be able to read the writing. And if you ain't got the word of God, you cannot what? Read the writing. That's why many of you despise the preacher. You can't even read the writing. That's why you don't despise the preacher. When you despise the preacher, you despise the word. You can't read the writing. That's why many here, they don't live thinking they can read the writing by itself. Jim Brown can't read the writing. You got to have revelation. Don't I keep telling y'all that?
Yeah.
You can't philosophize and use human reason. You got to have revelation. He don't guess at nothing. Daniel don't guess at nothing. He can read the writing because he got the word.
Amen.
I keep trying to tell y'all. He sit there and bow and well, so I'm going to say this philosophy. It is. Now that's why I show y'all the word. Jane, I'll show you the word. I'm going to show you the word. And you got a problem with me. You got a problem with the word. And you got a problem with the Holy Spirit. You got a problem with the Son. You got a problem with the Father. I don't care how you try to fix it, Trigger. For as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting dreams, showing of far sentences, dissolving of doubt, was found in the same Daniel. He had the word, Regina. It was found in him. What was found in him? The word. You can read the writing. The word was found in him. The word is reading the writing and giving an interpretation. And Daniel say, this is what this means, this is what this means, this is what this means, this is what this means. He can tell you that in the second chapter, don't he, Charles?
Yes, he does.
I love this book. Then was Daniel brought in before the king. Why? Because he can read the writing. And he got the word. He can read the writing. What are you going to read? The word. That's the word that's being written up on the wall. That's the word. Then was Daniel brought in before the king. The king spake and said unto him, unto Daniel, are you that Daniel which are the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king of my father brought out of Jewry? I have even heard of you that the spirit of the gods is in thee. They don't believe in God, they believe in the spirit of God, so that's the way they believe it.
Small G.
Yeah, you see it. That the spirit of God is in thee, and that the spirit of the God is in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. He got the word. Now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me that they should read the writing. They can't read it because they ain't got what? The word. They ain't got the word. They ain't God's people. You can't read it if God ain't called you. You ain't got no revelation. This is deep. Hello, John?
Amen.
Read this writing, make known. You can't make known to anybody no interpretation thereof, and God ain't gave you the word. You cannot make known the interpretation of it. If you're not called by God and he ain't put his word in here, you can't interpret nothing. That's why I can't understand all of them came through here. Everybody gonna tell me what something means, what they ain't gonna do. You despise the word. Why, God ain't told me that. You ain't lying. He ain't told you nothing. You got your unwritten tradition. You hate God because he's against everything you want to do. Everything you want to do, everything you want to be, everything you want to believe, God is against it. So you hate the preacher because he don't agree with your unwritten tradition, which is your human reason and your philosophy. And don't nothing you believe come to pass. Nothing. Everything that preacher said to keep happening. It's the word. Now the wise men, the astrologers have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation. They could not show the interpretation of the writing on the wall. They can't read. I have heard of you, that you canst make interpretation, dissolve doubts. Now if you canst read, ain't no if he can. If you canst read the written, the writing, make known to me the interpretation, you shall be clothed with scarlet, have a chain of gold around your neck, you shall be third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said, before the king, let your gifts be to yourself. Your interpretation is not for me. This is not ability of my own. I cannot get paid for doing this. You can't pay me for doing this. I can't receive money. That Baptist preacher, okay, give me the money. He said, no. Let your gifts be to yourself. Give your rewards to another. I will read the writing, though. That's my duty. That's my duty. I don't have to have a tie.
Amen.
God don't change. He ain't trying to get paid, but the servant is worthy of his house. He never said, you don't have to pay me for this. This is my duty. I know that it's the word in me. I know what I have in me. It's not of myself. I'm going to do my duty.
Amen.
I've heard of thee that you can expect interpretation, dissolve doubts. Now if you can read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, you shall be clothed with scarlet, have a chain of gold around your neck. Sound like a Baptist preacher. Don't have that dog no cross around his neck. That am I lying? He got his, don't it?
Yeah.
Don't he got his robe on? He got his chain of gold around his neck, don't he? Got on a scarlet, don't he?
Yep.
You Chaldean magician. Eric. A Chaldean magician, ain't he? He don't interpret nothing, do it. You don't understand. All he wants is the scarlet and the chain of gold around his neck. Then Daniel answered and said, before the king, let your gifts be to yourself, give your rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing to the king and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father a kingdom, that's his grandfather. Nebuchadnezzar your father a kingdom, majesty, glory, and honor. For the majesty that he gave him. All people, nation, language, tremble fear before him. Whom he would, he slew. Whom he would, keep alive. Whom he would, he set up. Whom he would, he put down. God gave him the power to do it. But when his heart was lifted up, his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne. They took his glory from him. He was driven from the sons of men. His heart was made like the beast. His footing was with wild asses. They fed him with grass like an ox, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it Donald Trump. He appointed over it Barack Obama. And you, his son, O Belshazzar, has not humbled your heart. Though you knew all this, same way with y'all know exactly what this word says, you will not humble your heart. You know exactly what the word says, but you still won't humble your heart.
Yep.
They know out there what the word of God says, Erica, but they won't humble themselves. The denominations know. The Pope, no. The Baptist preacher, no. T.D. Jakes problem is? Jehovah's Witness, no. The denominations, no. Roman Catholicism, no. Islam, no. They mock God in this message. Don't they all? Did you see the video we looked at Friday morning? Did they mock about? Did they mock? But the problem is, you won't humble yourself. Y'all know, I read these scriptures, you know, but you won't humble yourself. He got something for you. Oh, Belshazzar, you have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this, but has lifted up yourself against the Lord God of heaven. Y'all don't know what you're doing. You despise the preacher, you despise the word. When you do that, what you do? You lift up yourself against the Lord God of heaven. You lift up yourself against the Lord of heaven. That's what you do. They have brought the vessels of his house before thee, you, your lords, your wives, your whores. Y'all have praised the gods of silver, gold, brass, iron, wood, stone, your benches, your Baptist churches, your buildings. You got your pews, you got the preacher sitting up in the front. Don't touch the altar, that's the holy desk of God. Ain't no holy desk. That's a doggone piece of wood.
Just made one.
What?
I said that's made one.
Made by the hands of man, amen. A piece of wood, that's the holy desk. Don't touch that. That's the gold, that's the silver, that's the Pope's cup. Verse 23, you have lifted up yourself against the Lord of heaven, made yourself, man, this is scary right here. They have brought the vessels of his house before thee, you, your lords, your wives, your whores, have drunk wine in them, have praised the gods of silver, gold, brass, iron, wood, stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know. And the God in whose hand your breath is, and whose are all your ways. He's talking to a pagan. He's preaching predestination and the sovereignty of God. You can't get away from it. He's preaching predestination and the sovereignty of God. He's preaching predestination and the sovereignty of God. He's preaching pro-Rizzo, Afro-Rizzo, Toy Mazel, Cartism, saying you don't belong to God. Breath of God, and God got every man's breath in his hand. Look what this dude said. Preaching predestination, and the God in whose hand your breath is, woo, and whose are all your ways, has you not glorified, if not honored this God. How do you honor him? You humble yourself. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. This is the writing that was written. In name and name, Tekel, Upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, God hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. 2 Babylons. We can read this in our 2 Babylons. I should have brought it. We get to it. Tekel, thou I weighed in the balances, I found warning. Perez, the kingdom is divided, given to the Medes and the Persians. Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. Mene is Persian. Tekel, you are waiting the battle. Perez, that's the Persians. The kingdom is divided and given to the hand of the Persians. We just read that. Then commanded Belshazzar, they clothed Daniel with scarlet, put a chain of gold around his neck, made a proclamation concerning him that he should be third ruler in the kingdom. And that night was Belshazzar, the king, and that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans slain. And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Darius was the king with Cyrus. Darius and the Medes. Let me read this to you. Then we don't go back over there and see what this says. Let me read this to you. Now when he took Babylon. However, I'm going to read to you this. However, by this time the trenches was dug. This is Cyrus taking Babylon. This is Xenophon in history, what I just read to you in this Bible. However, by this time the churches were dug. Cyrus heard that it was a time of high festival in Babylon. You look at verse number 1, it says, Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drank wine before the 1,000. They was having a festival. When the citizens drink and make merry the whole night long. As soon as the darkness fell, he set his men to work. The mouths of the trenches was open, and during the night the water poured in, so that the riverbed formed a highway into the center of the town. When the great stream had taken to its new channel, Cyrus ordered his Persian officers to bring up their 1,000 horses, footlight, each detachment drawn up 2 deep, the allies to follow in their own order. They lined up immediately. Cyrus made his own bodyguard descend into the dry channel, first to see if the bottom was firm enough for marching. When they said it was, he called a council of all his generals and spoke as follows. My friends, the river has stepped aside for us. It offers us a passage by its own high road into Babylon. We must take heart and enter fearlessly, remembering that those against whom we are to march this night are the very men we have conquered before. And that too, when they had their allies to help them, when they were awake, alert, and sober, armed to the teeth, and in their battle order. Tonight, we go against them when some are asleep, some are drunk. All are unprepared. That's what's happening right here in chapter 5. And when they learn that we are within the walls, sheer astonishment will make them still more helpless than before. If any of you are troubled by the thought of volleys from the roofs, when the army enters the city, I bid you lay these fears aside. If our enemies do climb their roofs, we have a God to help us. The God of fire. Their porches are easily set aflame, for the doors are made of palm wood and varnished with bitumen, the very food for fire. We shall come with the pine torch to kindle it, with pitch and tow to feed. They will be forced to flee from their homes or be burnt to death. Come, take your swords in your hand. God helping me, I will lead you on. Do you, he said, turning to Galatas and Galatas, show us the streets. You know them, and once we are inside, let us straight to the palace. So we will, said Gobryas and his men, and it will not surprise us to find the palace gates unbarred. Let's go over to go back to 45. He said you're going to find the palace gates what? Unbarred. Unbarred. Let's go back to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Amen. Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45, verse number 1. Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him. I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the 2-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass, cut in sunder the bars of iron. I will give thee the treasures of darkness, hidden riches of secret places, that you mayest know that I am the Lord which called thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. He said again, he said it would not surprise us to find the palace gates unbarred. For this night the whole city is given over to revelry. Is it? Yes, it is. Daniel chapter 5, the whole city is given over to revelry. Daniel chapter 5. Daniel chapter 5, the whole city is given over to revelry. Daniel chapter 5, verse 1. Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, drank wine before the 1,000. Verse 3, then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was at Jerusalem. The king, the princes, his wife, his concubines, drank in it. What a mighty God we serve. Still we are sure to find a guard, for one is always stationed there. Then said Cyrus, there is no time for lingering. We must be off at once. Take them unprepared. What was they doing? What was they doing when he got there? They was holding a great feast. Verse number 1. What's wrong with y'all? They was keeping Christmas. They're going to be partying. Thereupon they entered, and of those they met, some were struck down and slain. Others fled into their houses. Some raised the hue and cry of Gobreus, and his friends covered the crowd with their shouts, as though they were revelers themselves. And thus making their way by the quickest route, they soon found themselves before the king's palace. Who palace? Belshazzar. Here the detachment under Gobreus and Gadatas found the gates closed. But the men appointed to attack the guards rushed on them as they lay drinking round a blazing fire. Closed with them then and there. As the din grew louder and louder, those within became aware of the tumult, till the king bidding them, what king? See what it's meant? Some of them opened the gates and ran out. That's what they messed up at. Should have never opened them gates. The daughters and his men, seeing the gates swing wide, darted in, hard on the heels of the others who fled back again. They chased them at the sword's point into the presence of the king. They found him on his feet, with his drawn scimitar in his hand. By sheer weight of numbers, they overwhelmed him. Not one of his retinue escaped. They were all cut down, just like God said in detail. Some flying, others snatching up anything to serve as a shield, defending themselves as best they could. Cyrus sent squadrons of cavalry down the different roads with orders to kill all they found in the street. While those who knew Assyrian were to warn the inhabitants to stay indoors under pain of death. While they carried out these orders, Gobreus and Gadatas returned. And first they gave thanks to the gods and did obeisances because they had been suffered to take vengeance on their unrighteous king, and then they fell to kissing the hands and feet of Cyrus, shedding tears of joy and gratitude. And it was day. And when it was day, those who left the heights knew that the city was taken and the king slain. They were persuaded to surrender the citadel themselves. Cyrus took it over forthwith, sent in a commandant and a garrison, while he delivered the bodies of the fallen of their kinfolk for burial, and bade his heralds make proclamations that all the citizens must deliver up their arms. Wherever weapons were discovered in any house, all the inmates would be put to death. So the arms were surrendered. Cyrus had been placed in a citadel for use in case of need. When all this was done, he summoned the Persian priests, told them the city was the captive of his spear, and bade them set aside the first fruits of the booty as an offering to the gods, and marked out land for sacred dimensions. Then he distributed the houses and the public buildings to those whom he counted as partners in the exploit. He divided the spoil. The distribution was of the principal accepted the best prizes to the bravest men. If any thought that they had not received their deserts, they were invited to come and tell him. At the same time, he issued a proclamation to the Babylonians, bidding them to till the soil and take the dues and render willing service to those under whose rule they were placed. As for his partners, the Persians, and such of his allies as elected to remain with him, he gave them to understand they were to treat as subjects that captives may receive. Now let's go back to Isaiah 45. I'm going to show you why God says this. Let's go to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Back to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45. Verse number 1. Thus said the Lord his anointed. To Cyrus whose right hand I have holden to subdue nations before him. I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates. Wherever? Where at? In Babylon. And you still don't understand, you still lost. In Babylon, the two-leaf gates. I just read it to you. This is very important. This was going to be going on in America. That's why the Bible tells you in Revelation 17:5, Babylon is fallen. That's the first Babylon. America is the second Babylon. That's why I say Babylon is fallen. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass, cut asunder the bars of iron. I will give thee the treasures of darkness, we just read about it, hidden riches of secret places, that you mayest know it, that I, the Lord, which called thee by name, Cyrus, am the God of Israel. For Jacob my servant said to Israel my elect, for they're going to do what? To go back and build the city and the temple. I have even called thee by name, Cyrus. I have surnamed thee, my shepherd, though you have not known me. I am the Lord. There is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. I'm the one that strengthened you and called you to defeat the Babylonians. And you don't even know me. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Why did he say that? Why did he say, I form the light, create darkness. I make peace, create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Why would God make a statement like that? Why? In all the other scriptures, where God speaks of evil, he never say he created. Let's go to 2 Samuel 17:14. 2 Samuel 17:14.
Oh, okay.
2 Samuel 17:14. This is the only place in the Bible where God said he created evil. Why does he say he created evil here and don't create evil in the other verses? He never say he created evil in other verses. In other verses, he always say that, in all the other verses, he always say that he bring evil. But in this verse, he says he create evil. Why does he say he create evil here and don't create evil in 2 Samuel 17:14? 2 Samuel 17 verse 14, he says, and Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel, for the Lord hath appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord may bring evil upon Absalom. 1 Kings 14:10. He always said bring evil. Why did he not say he was going to create evil here? 1 Kings 14:10. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall, him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung, till it be all gone. Okay, let's go over here to 21. This is the first Kings. I got over here 21:21. Let's go to 2 Kings 21:21. Hold on. 1 Kings 21:21. 1 Kings 21:21. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away your posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. 2 Kings 22:16. 2 Kings 22:16. 2 Kings 22, verse number 16. 2 Kings 22:16. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and upon the inhabitants thereof. That is all the words of the book which the king of Judah hath read. Why? Because they have forsaken me of burnt incense unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be kindled against this place, and shall not be quenched. Verse number 20. Behold, therefore, I will gather thee unto your fathers, and you shall be gathered into thy grave in peace, and your eyes shall not see all the evil which I will bring upon this place. And they brought the king the word again. 2 Chronicles 34:24. 2 Chronicles 34. 2 Chronicles 34. That is the only place where God says he's going to create. It's the reason why God says he's going to create it over there. Excuse me. And don't say he's going to create here. He's bringing the eagle. Why do we say he's going to create here and don't create over there? I'll show you why. 2 Chronicles 34:24. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, upon the inhabitants thereof. That is, all the curses, all the curses. What is the evil? All the curses. What is the evil? The evil is all the curses. God did not create fresh evil. God did not create fresh evil. The evil is all the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. That's the evil. That's what God brought into our lives. We don't create no fresh evil. You want to know what the evil is? All you got to do is read Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28. You can find out what the evil is. What's going on in your life. God's four sword judgments. God is four sword judgments. Is famine, pestilence, sword, and beast. Those are the four sword judgments. He got others in Leviticus, Deuteronomy 28 and 26 that he used. Those are the evil. God do not create no fresh evil. There's not no fresh evil ever that God has created sitting in your life. All the evil that God is sitting in your life, Virginia, we look at them as evil. These are the curses because of sin. We look at them as evil. These are judgments of God. In our eyesight, we look at them coming from God because it brings upon us. We say they're evil. No, they're righteous judgments of God. That's what he is. But we being human beings, we being limited, finite creatures, we being in the flesh, we look at it as evil to us because it's not according to our ways and it's not according to our mind. So we say that's evil. That snow down there to kill the people, that's evil, that's the devil. No, we're going to read why God said, I formed the light. We're going to read and find out why God says, I formed light, create darkness. He said, I form light. I form light. I form light, create dark. I form light, create darkness. I form light and create darkness. I form light, I create darkness. I make peace. I make peace. Create evil. We're going to find out why God says this right here. This is what we're interested in right here. We're interested in right there. Why do God say he create darkness and he create peace? That means to bring into being. This means to bring it. Create means to bring. I'm going to be giving you some that bring into being. Into being. Bring into being. No, he's not bringing into being evil. Evil already exists. He's not bringing something into being that does not exist already. That's not what this means. The way it's taught is as if God is bringing this to being that it ain't never been before. Create. Create means to cause to come into existence. He don't cause evil to come into existence. Evil is already in existence in help me Holy Spirit in Isaiah 54. To cause to come into existence. He do not cause evil to come into existence. Evil is already in existence in Isaiah 45. Can you show you what this means? Okay, let's go over. I'm doing good. Let's go read some more. God does not cause evil to come into existence. Evil is already in existence in Isaiah 45. Show you what this means. God said he created. Where's my place there? What did he create here? I think it's out of Brown's Bridge, this definition. I got more definition. When he says he created evil, this means create, right here means of new, create, over here, create. When he say he's created, it's the word bara. Bara. And as it pertains to Isaiah 45, it means new conditions, and circumstances. What is the new condition and the new circumstances that God bring into being? The word create is the word bara. It means new conditions and new circumstances. New conditions of the curses that I have not brought about already from Deuteronomy 20, 28 and 26. So these conditions that you are in, these circumstances, I have not caused them to come into existence yet. The evil is already there. What I'm creating, I'm bringing new conditions and new circumstances that I already don't spoke in Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. These conditions and circumstances you haven't seen yet. I haven't brought them into your life yet because these laws you haven't broke. I've been compassionate towards you. You have not hearkened to me. You mocked my messengers. You misused my prophets. I was having compassion on you. You didn't receive the rebuke. You didn't receive the reproof. So now, for you rejecting the messengers, for you misusing my prophets, for you despising my words, these conditions you ain't never seen before. They knew. So that's just like them being created. They already spoken of right here in Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy. But you haven't seen them yet, so it's just like I'm creating them to you. But they know these are the conditions and the circumstances that I spoke in Deuteronomy 28 and 26, that I spoke through the Bible when they come into your life. You think I'm creating evil in your life? No. But it's the reason why he said this right. It's the reason why he said this right. We're going to look at it in a minute. No, I'm not creating, bringing nothing into existence that's not already there. I'm dispatching. Word bara means to dispatch. I'm dispatching. It means to dispatch. They new to you, they like to create it because you ain't never seen them before. I'm dispatching these new conditions and these new circumstances that I already don't spoke in my word concerning you, what I told you I was going to do with you. When you mock my messengers, when you misuse my prophets, when you mock my messengers, I showed you compassion, but you mock my messengers, you misuse my prophets, you mock my messengers, you wouldn't humble yourself, you mock my messengers, you misuse, you mock my messengers, you mock my messengers. You despise my word and misuse my prophets. You mock my messengers. You mock the messengers. You mock mocked messengers, despised the word,
Right.
misused
Yes, ma'am.
prophets. I came to you big times, rising up early, trying to stop you before you even got started. Rising up early, came to you big times, rising up early. I was having compassion on you when I was rebuking you. You despised that word. I was having compassion. So I'm bringing new conditions, new circumstances out of Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26 in your life right now. I'm doing that. I'm creating that. Why did he say create here? We're not reading create nowhere else. We're going to find out in a minute. All right. Let's read a couple more of these. I got a lot of them. Let's go to Isaiah 31 and 2. Let's go to Isaiah 31 and 2. I'll go ahead and go through this. Isaiah 31 and 2. Why is he saying bring an evil? Why he said bring an evil? 31 and 2. 31, verse number 2. 31 and 2. 31 and 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, will not call back his words. Will not call. Let's read verse number 1 and 2. This is what God is doing. Wanted them to go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horses because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord! Exclamation point! He didn't say the Lord. Yet he is also wise. That's the Holy One of Israel. And will bring evil. The Holy One of Israel will bring evil. Will not call back his words. He's not going to repent and change his mind. He's not calling back his words. No remedy. He will not call back his words, but will rise against the house of evildoers. Against the hell, Egypt, America, of them that work iniquity. Yes, he will. Jeremiah 4:6. Jeremiah 4:6. Jeremiah 4, and verse number 6. Remember what he said? He's going to perform all the words that is written in the book of Jeremiah. Yes, he is. Jeremiah 4:6. Set up the standard. Verse number 4, circumcise yourselves to the Lord, take away the foreskins of your heart, you men of Judah, inhabitants of Jerusalem. Lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings, your inventions, your practices, your endeavors, your law, your acts, your deeds. Everything you practice, everything you invent, everything you attempt, all your performances, yours. It's not written in my word, your unwritten tradition. They're yours. They belong to you. Your doings is evil. All the doings of man is evil. Everything you do is evil. Who told you was good? Who? You told yourself all your doings is evil. Circumcise yourself to the Lord. Take away the flesh, foreskins of your heart. You men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire, burn that none can quench it because of the evil of your doings. Declare you in Judah, publish in Jerusalem. Blow ye the trumpet in the land. Cry, gather together, say, assemble yourself, let us go into the defense city. Set up the standard towards Zion, retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north and a great destruction. That's Babylon. Then Cyrus is going to come in and destroy Babylon. You're talking about Babylon coming in. 6:19. 6:19. 6:19. Hear, O earth, Here on earth I will bring evil upon this people. That is the fruit of their thoughts. I'm going to bring the fruit of their thoughts. What they think in their mind, that's what I'm going to bring upon them. I'm going to punish them for the fruit of their thoughts. He punished you for the way you think, for your evil thoughts. Here on earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people. That is the fruit of their thoughts. Because they have not hearkened unto my words. They despised it, nor to my law, but rejected it. 11:11. 11:11. I read 9. Let's read 9. Oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people. I'm at 9. Jeremiah 9, I said, let's read 9. Jeremiah 9, I said, let's read 9. That's exactly what I said. Let's read 9. Oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people, go from them, and they be all, therefore they be all, not some, all, adulterers and an assembly of treacherous men. They bend their tongues like bows for lies. They are not valid for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil. They know not me, said the Lord. Why they don't know him? Why they don't know him? They can't read the writing. Can't know him because you can't read the writing. 11:11. That's why you don't know him. You can't read the writing. Verse number 10. Verse number 10. Verse number 9. Jeremiah 11:9. The Lord said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men of Judah. That's the church. The men of Judah. And among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. He's going to burn that church down, kill their young men in the sanctuary. This is why he's doing it. This is why he's sending Babylon, sending Nebuchadnezzar against them. Now you're reading and know why. Verse number 8. Yea, they obeyed. Verse number 7. For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even until this day, rising early and protesting and saying, obey my voice. He's talking to us right now. Those was our fathers. Those was not no white man. Those was not no white men down there. Our fathers was not white. But Jeremiah 11:7, for I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt. Jeremiah 11:7, this is not the white man's book. No white man was in no Egypt. For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even until this day, rising early and protesting, saying, obey my voice. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ears to walk every one in the imagination of their evil heart. Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant. Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26. Which I commanded them to do, but they did them not. The Lord said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men in the church and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They are turned back to the iniquity of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words. They went after other gods, Easter and birthday, Valentine's Day, Christ's Mass. That's the gods we serve. The white man's gods. These Baptists always want to talk about this, the white man's book, but they serve that white man God. They keep his Ishtar, they keep his Christ Mass. They celebrate his birthday, his Valentine's Day. That's the white man's book. They turn back to the iniquity of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words. You despise the words, you refuse it. They went out to other gods to serve them, the house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which I made with their fathers in Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. Therefore said the Lord, behold, I will bring the evil upon them which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not listen to them. They didn't listen to me. So when they cry to me and say, help us with our children while they dying, I ain't going to hear nothing you say. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry to the gods to whom they offer prayer. Who are the gods they offer their incense to? Your politicians. They shall not save them. The politician can't say, you can stop casting your vote. That's a doggone shame, child. You got 20 Democratic candidates running for president. That's crazy.
And it's going to continue to increase.
What?
26.
That is crazy. You know how much money that is? Each one of them got to have?
Millions.
Thank you. At least $50 to $200 million for a campaign to run and become president. They're great in America. These are the stupidest people in the world. Your mama and them, your sister and them, your brother and them, your cousin and them, they vote. They dumb as hell. They worshiping them gods. Yes, they is. All the cities of Judah. That's the church, Regina. Judah and Jerusalem is what a legitimate priesthood was. And the legitimate king. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, they go and they cry. Cry to the gods, and to whom they offer incense, they shall not save them at all in the time of their trouble. For according to the number of their cities, you go look on the corner, you'll find a church on every doggone corner. On your way home, Virginia, go down Madison. You see church here, church here. Go down Sunday night. On your way home, everywhere you see, you got a God. You got a God. You know, go to the city. Go to these cities. Find these gods. I don't care. You go to California. You go to Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Baltimore, Philadelphia. Go to the cities. You see these gods everywhere. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the gods unto whom they offer incense. They shall not save them at all in the time of their trouble, for according to the number of their cities were your gods, O Judah, according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem, have you set up altars to that shameful thing, that is, altars to burn incense to. How about to Priapus? You know what I'm talking about. I say Priapus, y'all look at me like I'm crazy. I don't know who Priapus is. The penis.
Large penis.
And I've been teaching you on pornography. What? That's called Priapus. It's called Baal. That's Baal. That's the penis right there. That's Baal. Right there. That's it, what I've been teaching you. Baal and vagina worship. What do you think I've been teaching? That's what got them in trouble. They burn incense to the penis. What do you think I've been teaching? That's Baal right there. That's the penis right there. Oh, Baal worship. What do you think I've been teaching? That's Baal. Okay? That's Baal. Don't you see it? It's Baal. See it?
Yes.
What do you think I've been teaching? What do you think I've been teaching? That's what they worship. What do the male worship? Baal, what do the homosexual worship? Baal, he worships the other male's penis. What do the lesbian worship? The other woman's vagina. It's Baal and Ashtoreth worship. You think I'm teaching? That's Aphrodite, that's Ishtar. It's the woman with the baby in arms. What you think I'm teaching? What do you think I'm teaching? What do you think I'm teaching? That's what got them in trouble. That's what I'm teaching you. It's pornography. What do you think I've been teaching you? On Saturday night. That's what I'm teaching you. What do you think I've been teaching? I just read the scripture here. That's Baal. That's what I've been teaching. 11:23. Verse 22. Therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword. And they've been shot down in the street. Yeah, they die by the sword. Their sons and their daughters shall die by famine. They can't feed them if they dead, can they?
No.
All right then. There should be no remnant of them, for I will bring evil upon the men of Anathot. That was the priest. That's what Jeremiah lived in. I was thinking about this last night. The year of their visitation. Babylon's coming. 19 and 3. 19 and 3. What do you think he's judging them for? What do you think he's judging them for? He's judging them for Christmas and Easter. What are you judging them for? What do you think he's judging them for? He's judging them because they committed pornography, fornication, and idolatry. That's what he's judging them for. They worship the god of the Canaanites, the god of the Hebrews, the god of Assyria. That's what he's judging them for. Same thing they doing now. 19 and 3. Say, hear the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah. Why keep saying Judah and Jerusalem? That's what the church was. That's what the temple was. That's why he said Nebuchadnezzar. Why do you think he already don't judge the 10 northern tribes? They were taken to captivity 722 BC. 586, he's going to come get the church now, the legitimate church, legitimate priesthood. They was worse than the 10 northern tribes. Hear ye the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah, O kings of Judah, inhabitants of Jerusalem. Them ain't white folk. Them ain't white folk there. Them ain't no Gentile. Japhethites, Greek, Anglo-Saxon. No, Anglo-Saxons right there. What's wrong with y'all? Thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, the which whosoever heareth his ear shall tingle. You know, black, white folks. This is what the problem is. One about this pulpit said, I'm going to be saying it from now on, 23:12. 23:12.
Amen. Amen.
23:11.
Amen.
22:10.
Amen.
23:9.
Amen. 23:9.
My heart within me is broken because of the prophets, because of the black Baptist preacher. The heart is within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I'm like a drunken man, like a man who windeth overcome because of the Lord, because of the words. The land is full of dogs. Tell me I'm lying. Because of swearing, the land mourning. Pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up. Their course is evil. Their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profaned. In my house have I found their wickedness. Wherefore their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness, Charles. They shall be driven on and fall therein. For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, said the Lord. He judged them. And he bring it upon the prophet and the priest now. You can't go around a black preacher going to jail talking about he's a child of God. Raping these 13 years ago, stealing money and carrying on. Man, come up here, a child of God. No, you not. God ain't sent you. 23:7. They say, steal unto them that despise me. They say, you're going to have peace. They say, steal to them that despise my word, disrespect my word. They're going to tell these black people, God got your back, he's going to lay hands on you and heal you. And you despise the word of God. You're a fool. They say, steal to them that despise me. The Lord has said, you shall have peace. You are lie. And they said to everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. Jesus said, I come not to bring peace. I come to bring the sword. They say, no, ain't no evil coming upon you. You a fool. You despise the word of God. The word of God done told Jesus I didn't come to bring peace. Then this jackass preacher tell you, ain't none of that. What he preaching over there, that ain't no God. God is not no God of evil. He's a God of peace. He wouldn't do that to you. You bring every word of that covenant that he spoke against us upon us. Every word of the covenant he spoke against us in Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26, he bring it upon us. That's the white man's book. You stupid. You stupid. You was a very stupid man. You don't know nothing. You don't study. You can't read. I heard a jackass say, I ain't no fool. They can't pull that BS on me. I've been in this country too long. I'm an OG. You right. You an old fool. All you know is what the white man told you. And you gonna tell me I can't nobody put the wool over your eye because you've been in America for 40 years. You was the stupidest nigga.
It's already over his eye.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Sunglasses.
Let me tell you how stupid he is. He think that Eve ate an apple. Nigga, you stupid. What did Eve eat in the garden, Dixon? What did she eat? What did she eat? Bro, what did she eat? What did she eat? What did she eat? Bro, what did she eat? Knowledge! She ate knowledge!
And then he lied and said he read.
She ate knowledge! Thou shalt not eat from the tree of knowledge. What did she partake of? No doggone fruit!
No birds.
Thank you! Ain't you need no fruit. Then I heard it all, this dumbbell Israelite last night come on. Let me take you to the Bubos there and show you what they ate. Israel has eaten the fruit of the lies. That's what they ate of the fruit of the lies of the devil. Nigga, you a fool! They ain't eat no fruit of the lies of the devil. They ate knowledge. It was knowledge in the tree.
Well.
Thou shalt not eat from the tree of the... Why is that so hard? What was the fruit? Knowledge! Knowledge! It was knowledge! It's not hard. It's hard for you because you think like a white American. Well, if the tree got to have fruit, if the fruit got to be fruit, because you stupid. It said, thou shalt not eat of the fruit of the tree. Is that what it said? And I asked the question. No, it don't say that. But I asked you, do you know what it says? Don't say nothing. It do not say that. Do not say that. Hear what nobody say. Because you don't know nothing. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And out of the ground made the Lord to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, good for food, the tree of life, also in the midst of the garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, don't say that about no fruit. No fruit. Ain't about no fruit in Genesis 2:17. I know, because you don't read. You an interpreter, so you know everything. Doggone Babylonian, you can't read and write it on the wall. That be you. 23:17. No, I'm through with that.
Okay.
20:63.
Okay.
20:63.
Okay. Yep.
She all right. 20:63. She all right. 20:63. She's doing fine. She's doing fine. One of y'all don't know what she be doing. You're right there, be helping me. 20:63. If so be they will hearken and turn every man from his evil way, that I may repent me of the evil. What evil? The curses in Deuteronomy 28:26. That's the evil I'm going to bring upon you. Verse number 2. Thus says the Lord, stand in the court of the Lord's house, speaking to all the cities of Judah. Telling them he coming. All he says, Judah and Jerusalem, Judah and Jerusalem, Judah and Jerusalem. Thus said the Lord, stand in the court of the Lord's house, speaking to all the cities of Judah. Come to worship in the Lord's house. All the words that I command thee to speak unto them, diminish not a word. And that's what y'all want me to do, to hold back the word. Don't tell me that, preacher. I'm not going to diminish not one word. I'm giving you the whole counsel of God, whether you like it or not. You don't like it, that let me know you ain't supposed to be here. You don't like it, that let me know you ain't supposed to be here. Anybody that's from now on don't like the reproof and the correction I give them, you ain't supposed to be here. I'm letting you know now. It's going out in the world. You might as well go to Egypt. You're going to hell anyway, but you're sitting here, you're laying the time for. Go out there and enjoy yourself. You're going to hell anyway, go out and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. You're going to hell anyway. You're going to hell anyway. Because you leave and you go out there and you're going to get judged for it. Don't say it's going to punish you, get punished. You don't care, I don't care. Thus said the Lord, God standing in the corner of the Lord's house, speaking to all the cities of Judah which come to worship in the Lord's house. Ain't this something? All the words that I command thee to speak unto them diminish not a word. If so be they will hearken. Turn every man from his evil. You evil! You evil! Been calling man evil since the God. Man don't think he evil. You evil. Your way is evil. The way you think is evil. All your thoughts is evil. All your doings is evil. All your understanding is evil. You evil. So be they will hearken and turn away from his evil way. Your way is evil. I may repent me of the evil what I purpose to do then because of the evil that they're doing. What is wrong with y'all? You evil. Don't you stop thinking to turn from your ways. Evil. From your evil ways. You evil. You ain't evil. You evil as hell. You evil. You don't think you evil. What your problem is, you evil. Don't know it. You evil. What time is it?
11:58.
All right, let me stop here. Let's go back over there. Because we got to read. I heard y'all to bring that book. And I don't want y'all to have that book. And I didn't go through it. McClintock's is strong. Let me show you why he told him I created. Don't bring your McClintock is strong. I want you to have it and I don't read it. McClintock's is strong. And you got to go to page 449. Go to 449. It's probably going to take me time to get through this page 449. 449. So I can show you why he said this. So I can show you why he said this. Isaiah 4:45. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. There's a reason why he said this. Okay? So turn your book. If you got your McClintock and Strong, go to page 449. Because I'm going to read this. It's going to take me a while. 449. 449. I'm reading out of this commentary by Albert Barnes before we go into McClintock and Strong. I form light and create darkness. I make peace, create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Light in the Bible is the emblem of knowledge, innocence, pure religion, prosperity in general. Darkness is the emblem of the opposite. Light here, 45 and 7, seems to be the emblem of peace and prosperity. Darkness, the emblem of adversity. The sentiment of the verse is that all things prosperous and adverse are under the providential control and direction of God. You got adversity in your life, God did. You got sorrow in your life, wretchedness in your life, God did. God's doing it. Because this is going to be good, Carol. Of light. It is literally true that God made light. Emblematically true that he is the source of knowledge, prosperity, happiness, pure religion. Of darkness. It is literally true also that the night is formed by him. That he withdraws the light of the sun and leaves the earth enveloped in gloomy shadows. It is emblematically true also that calamity, ignorance, disappointment, that's dark. Calamity, ignorance, disappointment, lack of success are ordered by him. That's dark. God did it. And not less true that all the moral darkness or evil that prevails on earth is under the direction and ordering of God's providence. There is no reason to think, however, that the words darkness and evil are to be understood as referring to moral darkness. That's your character and conduct. That is sin. God does not create sin. A strict regard should be had to the connection in the interpretation of such passages. And the connection here does not demand such an interpretation that God creates sin. The main subject is the prosperity which would attend the arms of Cyrus, the consequent reverses, calamities of the nations, whom he would subdue, and the proof this furnished that Jehovah was the true God. And in the passage should be limited in the interpretation, and the passage should be limited in the interpretation to this design, to Cyrus. The statement is that all this was under God's direction. It was not the work of chance or haphazard. It was not accomplished by call or caused by idols. It was not originated by an inferior or subordinate cause. It was to be traced entirely to God. The successes of arms, the blessings of peace were to be traced to him. The reverse of arms, the calamities of war, to trace to him also. This is all that the connection of the passage demands. This is in accordance with the interpretation of Kempka, Jerome, Ross Muller, Jensenius, Calvin, and Grotius. The comment of Grotius is giving safety to the people as the Persians, sending calamities upon the people as upon the Medes and Babylonians. Note Jerome, Bertringa, John, and some others suppose that there is reference here to the prevalent doctrine among the Persians and the followers of the Magian religion in general, which prevailed all over the East and in which Cyrus was probably educated, that there were two supreme, independent, coexistent external causes, always acting in opposition to each other. The one, the author of all good, the other of all evil. That these principles or causes are constantly struggling with each other. The good being or principle they call light. The other, the evil, darkness. The one are Mazdan, the other are Ramani. It was further the doctrine of the Magians that when the good principle had the ascendancy, happiness prevailed. When the evil principle prevailed, misery abounded. Locke supposes that God here means to assert his complete and absolute superiority over all other things or principles, and that all those powers whom the Persians supposed to be the original authors of good and evil to mankind were subordinate and must be subject to him, and that there is no power that is not subservient to him, God, and under God's control. That these opinions prevailed in the very early times, and perhaps as early as Isaiah, there seems no good reason to doubt. Don't you bring your old Bible? This is why God said, I make peace and create evil. Page 449, page 448. At the top it says, Ormuz and Ahriman. These are the gods that was worshipped by Cyrus, the Medes, and the Persians. This is why God says, I form light, create darkness, I make peace and create evil. Ormuz and Ahriman. The most difficult religious problem for the mind to solve is that of the existence of evil in this world. It's very difficult for a mind to solve that. If there be a God, then must that God be good? And as nothing can happen without his will. Naturally, we should expect that the world which he governs would be a place where everything would be good, virtuous, and happy. That's based on what? Human reason. That's how we reason. That's human reason. But the contrary is the case. The world, as a matter of fact, is full of evil, sin, misery. Whence then comes this? Is the deity not good? Or is his power limited? Or how is this conflict, which we see actually going on in the world, to be explained? Without the higher ideas given us by revelation, the problem could not be solved. But it is interesting to examine what were the conclusions to which the man of man, unaided by the light of revelation, came by the exercise of his own reasoning powers. It then attempted to solve the problem. What attempted to solve the problem? What attempted to solve the problem? Unaided reason. You guys not paying attention. Unaided reason attempted to solve the problem in two ways. The one was pantheism, a whole lot of gods. And the other was dualism, two gods. In pantheism, it is denied that there is any real difference between good and evil. Things do not exist but merely seem to exist. This whole external world is a mere illusion in which the world spirit develops itself in various ways, in which finally it will absorb back into itself. That's dumb as hell, ain't it? Just as the bubbles upon a stream seems to have a separate existence for a time. You see bubbles upon a stream, and then you see them float in that bubble, it floats, and then it dissolves. If you don't understand, if you ain't never seen bubbles upon waters, you can't understand. You'll see it with fish. If the fish come out, he'll breathe, the bubble rises up, and that bubble be there, and then it disappears. That's what it's talking about. This whole external world is a mere illusion, pantheism, in which the world spirit develops itself in various ways, in which finally it will absorb itself back into itself. Just as the bubbles upon a stream seem to have a separate existence for a time, and float upon its surface, bright in the sunshine, with reflected colors, and dark and for a time, float upon its surface, bright in the sunshine, with reflected colors, and dark and lustreless in the shade. But finally, as they break, all flow back into the main flood of water. So it is with men. Men seem to have a separate existence for a time, live some in sunshine, some in shade. But really they are all portions of the world spirit. This is pantheism. And at death, become again indistinguishable parts of his existence, none the better, none the worse, for what happened to them in life. It is the same world spirit which makes the plants grow. They have no merit, no blame for their wholesome or noxious qualities. Why are the plants noxious? Why do we have noxious plants, Carolyn? Why do we have harmful plants, Lolita? Why do we have harmful plants, Regina? Why do we have harmful plants, Jeremiah? Because the earth is cursed. Y'all don't know why we got noxious plants? Cursed is the ground. Beauty, richness of odors, utility earned them no praise. Nor is the poisonous hemlock blamed when it destroyed man's life. Well, why do the poisonous hemlock destroy man's life, Eric? Why do the poisonous hemlock destroy a man's life, Eric?
Because the ground is cursed.
Why do, Mike? Why, Jenny? Wrong, man. Why, Eric? I mean, Bumblebee. Why do poisonous hemlock destroy man's life?
Somebody put it in their drink.
Oh, man, come on, man. Because man sin and sin entered to the world through one man. Come on, man. It say it destroyed man's life. Sin entered to the world through one man. Man sinned and God cursed the ground. That's why you got hemlock that's poison, man. Everything God made was good. Y'all don't remember either. That's why you got poisonous plants. The plants weren't good when God made them. Everything God made was what? Hello? Why do you got poisonous hemlock plants? Because sin entered into the world. I taught y'all all this through one man. Through one man. When man sinned, he said, because thou hast hearkened to the ground, cursed is the ground, thy sake, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth. You shall work it by the sweat of your brow. Y'all need to go back and read y'all Genesis. I keep telling y'all that. Don't sit it aside. Don't say, I'll get it tomorrow. Go home and read it today. Go home and read Genesis chapter 3 today. Don't go sit it to the side. of Genesis. Beauty, richness of boldness, utility earned them no praise. Nor is the poison symbolize blame when it destroys man's life. No, it's not blame. Man is to be blamed. That's who's supposed to be blamed. Man is to be blamed. So human actions are but higher developments of the activity of the same world spirit. This is what they believe. This is human reason. And as they are his doings, he cannot praise or blame them. Why not? Why? We just read, he said he's going to give them according to their doing. They don't believe God. We just read in Isaiah when he said, turn from your evil doings. So y'all need to go, read them scriptures again, go back in the DVD, look at it again, then come back and read your book again, because you're not going to understand this, and I'm reading it now. You're not. You need to study it again. You need to go over it, and then you're going to understand. Because this is going to tell you why people believe that the God got power and the devil got power. This is what they believed at that time. That's why they say, I form light to create darkness. I make peace to create evil. Because they had Oromaz is going to tell you, Oromaz is supposed to be the good God, this was supposed to be the good God. So Oromaz formed the light, and Oromaz made the peace. Now Ramon created the darkness, and now Ramon created the evil. God said, no. You're going to see now what I'm talking about in a minute. God said, no, I do everything. Ain't no Oromaz and ain't no Aramon. Like lack, scholar, squalor, and crime in a picture, they are unrealities and nothing follows from them. It was in India that pantheism was elaborated into a perfect system. But the religions both of Egypt and Babylon were based upon the same fundamental ideas, which is at the root of pantheism that good and evil are essentially opposed, but in appearance only. Here we go. In the religion of the ancient Medes and Persians, we find a totally different conception. Zoroaster, its reputed author, had views or what? Thank you, Carolyn. Too high and noble to be satisfied with the solution which ignores the reality of this entire present state of things. On the other hand, he could not what? Believe. Why he couldn't believe? He had no faith. God had given no faith. That's why he couldn't believe. He wasn't revealed to him. He wasn't the God of Zoroaster. He was the God of Israel. He wasn't the God of Egypt. He wasn't the God of Babylon. He only revealed himself to Jacob and his 12 sons. So nobody else in the world knew this God. And that's what y'all don't remember. That's what the dumb preacher in the pulpit don't remember. That's what these dumb Egyptologists, that's what these dumb Babyloniologists, these Assyrianologists, nobody don't remember, understand. God did not reveal himself to nobody but Abraham's seed. So you get these Egyptologists telling you about all these gods, the Assyrianologists telling you about all these gods, these Babylonianologists telling you all about these gods, and God didn't reveal himself to them people. They didn't know him. So they drawed all these conclusions, came up with all these rules, made up all these doctrines. Where did they get it from? They mind. You say in Babylon? It was in India that pantheism was elaborated into a perfect system. But the religion both of Egypt, what did he tell you? We just read it. We just read it in Isaiah 31. Don't go down in Egypt. I'm sending Nebuchadnezzar to judge you because you're worshiping Baal in the groves. It was in India that pantheism was elaborated into a perfect system, but the religions both of Egypt and Babylon were based upon the same fundamental ideas, which is at the root of pantheism, that good and evil are not essentially opposed, but in appearance only. In the religion of the ancient Medes and Persians. That's what Cyrus was. He was a Persian. Darius was a Mede. We just read. We found a totally different conception. Zoroaster, its reputed author, had views too high and noble to be contented with a solution which ignores the reality of this entire present state of things. On the other hand, he, Zoroaster, could not believe that the deity whom he conceived to be essentially good and altogether perfect could himself have created evil and admitted it into the world which he had created.
Okay.
There seemed therefore but one way to escape from the dilemma, and that was to suppose that evil also had an independent existence, and that there was a struggle in the moral world as well as in the material nature. Their cold and heat, sound like Jim Brown, don't it? Light and darkness, tempest and sunshine seemed ever at variance, waging perpetual war for the ascendancy. And so he conceived that in opposition to Ormuzd, the good God and principle of goodness, there stood Ahriman, an evil God, and the author of all evil and sorrow and death. So he said, Ahriman creates the darkness. Ahriman creates the evil. Ormuzd formed light. Ormuzd made the peace. God said, hey, shut up. I form light. I create darkness. I make peace. I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. There is no God beside me. I am the only God. That's what the whole chapter 45 is about. He's refuting the gods of the Medes and the Persians. He letting them know. Cyrus, let you know right now. Your gods that you've been talking about, Zoroaster, ain't doing nothing. You Medes, your gods ain't doing nothing. I do everything. Ahriman likewise seemed to him, come up here. Ahriman likewise, come up here. Ahriman likewise seemed to him an independent power. Get that book up over there under that radio. Right? Hey, on the top of the radio, my fault. Hey, open up to the back. Open up to the back. Okay. Ormuzd. What did that one say? Do you see it?
Ahriman.
Yeah. Ahriman. What did he say? What did it say? Read it.
As the first best of regions and countries, I, who am Ahriman, created Aryanem Vaeho.
Where you at? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Read it again.
As the first best of regions and countries, I, who am Ahriman, created Aryanem Vaeho, of good capability. Thereupon, in opposition to it, Angromanius, the death-dealing, created a mighty serpent, and Snow, the work of the divas.
Thank you. Don't you hear what he said? I created good, and Emmanuel created evil. Read the next one. Where I got the created at?
As the second best of regions and countries, I, who am Ahriman,
Ahriman
created Gaul,
go ahead.
in which Suga is situated. Thereupon, in opposition to it, Angromanius, the death-dealing, created pestilence.
That's darkness. I'll create good every time I do something. Angry Emmanuel or Ahriman come behind me and do something evil. That's what was in their Bible. That's what he's reading. This is in their Avesta, translation of the first Fargot of the Vendetta. Ahriman is said to Ahriman said to who?
The Holy Zoroaster.
Thank you very much. What Ahriman say to the Holy Zoroaster?
I made most holy Zoroaster appear in this spot, what was previously quite uninhabitable. For had not I, the most holy Zoroaster, converted into a delicious spot, what was previously quite uninhabitable, all earthly life would have been would have been poured forth after Ionam Vahel.
What is Zoroaster doing?
He's exalting himself.
Thank you very much. He is exalting himself. He's not saying, God is not saying he did this to him. He's saying God did it to him. Read it again.
Our Mazda said to the holy Zoroaster, I made most holy Zoroaster.
Who wrote that? Thank you very much. He didn't speak above himself, seeking his own glory. God has never called himself Aramazda. You do not find Aramazda in Genesis. He's Jehovah. Aramazda is not another name for God. That's a Persian deity. He revealed himself as Jehovah, didn't he? Yes. Did he reveal himself as Elohim? He didn't reveal himself as no Aramazda. This is the Zoroaster idea, and he is the one who taught Cyrus. This is their religion in Persia and Media. They don't know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Every time he creates something, in here he said he creates something doesn't. He says, as the 7 next regions and countries, I, Aramazda, created Vekra, in which Duzaka is situated. Thereupon Angramayu, the death-dealing, created in opposition to it the fairy Kanatata, who attached herself to Kasaba. I, Aramazda, created Angramayu, created in opposition. I, Aramazda, created Angramayu, created in opposition. I, Aramazda, created death-dealing. Angramayu, the death-dealing, created the evil of explicable acts, preserving the dead. Didn't? So he said, they didn't know who did what, so he made them 2 gods. That's when we get the principle of the devil and God fighting against each other. Ain't no devil and God fighting against each other. God doing it all himself. Ain't no 2 principles. Ain't no God fighting against the devil. Your mama and your daddy taught you that. The God fighting against the devil fighting against God. That comes out of Media Persia. Ain't no got nothing to do with no devil doing nothing. Get the book, son. You can take the book back there. When I tell you to read something, you can read it. And that's what it said. That's where it comes from. So it says, Aramaz likewise seemed to him an independent power. I'm reading out of the book. I'm on page 449. Carolyn, you look at it. Don't be lost. Aramaz likewise seemed to him an independent power, not calling to being, but equally eternal. Aramaz, that's the dark one. Don't get him. Aramaz, that's the God of evil, sorrow, and death. Aramaz likewise seemed to him, to Zoroaster, an independent power, not calling to being, but equally eternal with Ormuz himself. Where did Satan come from? You know where Satan comes from? You. Talking to you. Yes, where did Satan come from?
God.
Well, what is it? What is Satan?
He's a spirit.
No, he's not. What is Satan, Virginia? What is Satan, Glenn? You sure don't. What is Satan, Mama Ron?
A fallen angel.
What kind of, well, fallen angel, where he come from?
He came from heaven.
Where he come from? Where he come from?
God created
Thank you,
him.
Vinny. You best believe he's a created angel. That's what Satan is. He's a created fallen angel. That's what he is. He's not independent. That's the whole point. He's a created fallen angel recorded in Ezekiel chapter 28. I'm teaching you that on Thursday night. He's a created fallen angel. He's not an independent power. Aramaz would be a picture of the devil. So y'all can understand. Aramaz would be the devil. Ormuz would be God. Aramaz likewise seemed to him an independent power, not calling to being, but equally eternal with Ormuz, which would be God, the good God himself. Eternal as regards his pre-existence, but not eternal in future. Zoroaster could not bring himself to believe that this struggle was to go on forever. And therefore, not very logically, he taught that a being endowed with an infinite pre-existence was nevertheless finite. That's dumb as hell, ain't it? How he exists before and then he's limited. He said that before he existed before with God, but now he's limited. That don't make sense. That's what he says. Pre-existence, he existed before, but now he's limited. Zoroaster could not bring himself. This is a man-made doctrine. Zoroaster could not bring himself. Zoroaster could not bring himself. Zoroaster could not bring himself. Just like you say. I don't care what you say, preacher. I ain't gonna believe that till God show me himself. Zoroaster could not bring himself. Could not bring himself. You gotta go to do. Y'all thought you were going to go to work. You look like you're getting ready to go. Zoroaster could not bring himself to believe that this struggle was to go on further. Therefore, not very logically, he taught that a being endowed with an infinite pre-existence was nevertheless finite. In distant ages, 3 prophets sprung from who? And were to bring into the world the 3 remaining books of the Zoroaster and convert the world to the faith. Thereupon evil was to what? The whole world become what? Pure. And as it was when first created by who? Before Armand had what? Marred it by his what? On close examination, however, it appears that the Zoroaster is not all of the same day, and that this dualism is not found in most sections. There are very early chapters that contain traces even of a polytheistic nature in which the gods have no personal existence, but are mere powers such as the sunshine. The sunshine, they said it was a god. The wind, they said it was a god. The earth, they said it was a god. And fire, they said was a god. As the same sort of worship is found in the older religious bases of India, it seems as if this was the primitive religion of the whole Aryan stock. But this system was too sensuous, too long to satisfy men's mind, and the next stage of the Zoroaster is that in which we have a distinct recognition of deities and our real persons possessed of self-conscious and intelligence. Do y'all remember that what I taught y'all where this doctrine come from? How Israel got this doctrine? Y'all don't remember? Y'all don't remember? Yeah, when they went into captivity.
Yeah.
When they went, what do you say, y'all?
Yes.
When they went, what did I teach y'all out of? Y'all don't remember what I taught y'all out of? You want to hear Mama Ronnie, you don't know. Dr. JD. What I teach y'all out of? Taught you out of it in the Arco volume.
Okay.
It's in your Arco volume. Yeah, open it right to it. I taught you how to Arco volume. It was from Moses that Zoroaster derived the idea of one living God, the maker of heaven and earth, but he corrupted this pure doctrine by making 2 subordinate gods, the authors respectively of good and evil. From Moses he received an utter hatred of all images and of the temples in which they was worshipped. But he introduced in connection with the true faith the doctrine of evil spirits dividing the government of the universe. So it happened that there was not only an impress of the religion of our fathers upon that of the Persians, but a reaction of the Persian religion upon that of our nation. The Jews, as would appear from the book of Tobit, first learned in their captivity those ideas of the agency of evil spirits in the world, of which we find traces in all their history. Cyrus was a Persian, in all probability, had been instructed in the doctrines of Zoroaster, a combination, as we have seen, of Judaism and the ancient Persian religion. His extraordinary partiality for the Jews is explained. He let them go back to Jerusalem. And his zeal in rebuilding the only temple on earth which was dedicated in his name to God of heaven and was free from all pervading and polluting sin of idol worship. But the influence of Zoroaster did not end here. The success of Cyrus were educated in his religion. The priests and teachers of his religion were called Magi, exerted a powerful influence in the state. Darius, Astyages' son-in-law and successor of Cyrus, warmly espoused the religion of the Persian philosopher, and when Zoroaster was slain by the eruption of the Scythians, he amply avenged his death and rebuilt the fine temples which the Scythians had destroyed, especially with more splendor than before. The one in which Zoroaster ministered, it was his hatred to idolatry, thus derived through Zoroaster from Moses, which was the only redeeming principle that the Persian monarch showed in all their extensive conquests. Cambyses, the son of Cyrus, madman and tyrant as he was, derives a sort of dignity from his zeal against idolatry. His indignation at seeing the Egyptians worship a living brute does honor, at least, to his Persian education, though in other respects he was a cruel and detestable tyrant. When Darius and Xerxes marched their mighty armies into Europe, the only idea which these vast expositions was intended to carry out that can excite the least sympathy in the mind of a Jew was the destruction of idolatry, which they everywhere threatened and attempted to realize. Thus it is that the mind governs a land. The Persian kings, with their vast armies, bearing war and subjugation to remotest lands, were only realizing ideas which had been matured by Zoroaster in his cave, and which he in turn had derived from Moses. He took the doctrine of Moses and he converted it. I taught y'all this. And many of y'all got this book, right?
Yes.
You can start reading about it on page 181. You start on 181 in your Ark of Bible. You finish this. Page 449. Right-hand column at the top. But Zoroastrianism did not stop here. The contemplation of the evil that is in the world led in time to a highly developed what? In which Ahriman stands opposed to Ormuzd as a being possessed of almost what?
Equal power.
We're using it only for the worst what? That's where you get your idea of the devil got power and God got power. That's why mankind believe that today. That's where it comes from. I'm showing you why they believe it. The devil is not a God. The devil do not have no power. The devil do not cause the snow to fall on the ground. The devil don't call the rain. The devil don't cause the thunder. He don't cause the darkness. He don't bring the wind and blow down houses and shoot up. It wasn't the devil that shot up the mosque. That synagogues. That was God. I create evil. All I do is dispatch the curses of Deuteronomy 28:26. Proverbs 16:4 says, the Lord has made all things for himself, even the Persians to destroy the Babylonians. The Lord has made all things for himself, even the Babylonians to destroy Judah and Jerusalem. The Lord has made all things for himself. Yes, even the wicked for the day to bring the curses of Deuteronomy 28:26 upon mankind. The Lord has made the wicked for himself. The Lord has made all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. That's man. Man is the evil. That's the evil. The evil is the man. The evil is man. That's the evil. Fish ain't evil. Wind ain't evil. Air ain't evil. Sunshine ain't evil. They thought the cold was evil. They thought the wind was evil. They thought the rain was evil. That's what they thought, because they didn't know God. No, man is evil. That's what David said in Psalm 17. 17. Deliver me from the wicked, which is the sword in your hand. That's man. Go over there and look at it. Look at Deuteronomy 17. But see, we've been taught by ignorant parents who worship their God, and that's the devil. No, it's not. That's God. Ain't no devil. No, it's not. No, it's not. We go to Psalm 17. We go to Psalm 17. I got a few minutes left. Go to Psalm 17. Go to Psalm 17. Go to Psalm 17. Go to Psalm 17 and I'm sure it is. Go to Psalm 17. Go to Psalm 17. Verse number 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint H-I-M. Cast H-I-M down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. It got a colon there. It's not finished. You don't finish there. That sentence not finished. That sentence not finished. From men, which are your hand, O Lord, from men of the world. Cyrus, Nebuchadnezzar, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fillest with your hid treasure. Didn't he? You go back over there to 45 and 7.
Okay.
I mean, you go back over there to Isaiah 45,
Okay.
verse number 3.
Okay.
Hold your place in Psalms. Come on, come on, come on. 45 and 3. I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. You go back to Psalm 17, verse number 14, Van. From men which are your hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fillest with hid treasure. What did God tell him he was going to do? I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. They go right there. They go right there, Virginia. They go to your eagle. It's right there. I'm going to read it one more time, Karen, in case you didn't understand Jeremiah. In 17 and 14 of the book of Psalms, he said, from men which are your hand, O Lord, men of the world, which have their portion in this life, whose belly you fillest with your hid treasure. You go back over here and read it, 45 and 3. It says, I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. Ain't that what he said? Who was he giving it to? A man. Who was the man he giving it to? Cyrus. What kind of man is Cyrus? Wicked. He is the sword of the Lord. That good, ain't it, Mama? You hold your place there. Don't lose none of your places. You go to Proverbs. You go to Proverbs chapter 16. It says, verse 4, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yes, even the wicked for the day of evil. Who is the wicked? The wicked is the sword. The wicked is men of the world. That's according to Psalm 17, 14. So you got Psalm 17, 14. You got Psalm 17, 14. You got Psalms 17, 14. You got Psalm 17, 14. Psalm 17, 14. You got Proverbs 16, 4. And you got Isaiah 45, what verse?
3.
What?
3.
Your oil.
They go to evil right there.
Yep.
And what they're going to carry out, is Leviticus 28 and 26 that God has already spoken. Let's read that. I can't read all of this. That's what I want you to see. You look at all three of those scriptures together. 17, doesn't matter, 17, 13, 14. Psalm 17, Psalms 17, 13, and 14. Psalm 17, 13, and 14. Proverbs 16, 4. Isaiah 45 and 3. All three of the verses together. You read it. I want to do one more. God did not create no fresh sheep. You don't leave this to man's imagination. That God, how he does it. This is how God does it. All he's doing is bringing to pass what he already spoke. Go to 32nd chapter. I'm going to show you the scripture. I don't give you no opinion. I'm going to show you. Go to 32nd chapter of, go to 32nd chapter of Jeremiah. Finish up. Watch it. Pay attention. Jeremiah 32.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Jeremiah 32.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Jeremiah 32.
Amen. Amen.
Jeremiah 32, verse 19.
Amen.
Great in counsel, mighty in work, for your eyes are upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doing. Which has set signs, I love this, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day, and in Israel, and among other men, has made thee a name as at this day, has brought forth your people, Israel, out of the land of Egypt, signs with wonders, with a strong hand, with a stretched out arm, with great terror, has given them this land. Thou didst swear to their fathers to give them a land flowing with milk and honey. They came in, that people Israel, they came in, they possessed it, they obeyed not the voice, neither walked in the law. They have done nothing of all that you commandest them to do. For that reason, you have caused. He didn't create. He didn't create.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Amen.
He didn't create.
That's right.
That's why he's saying that over there, because they believe in two gods. So he's telling Cyrus, there is no such thing as Ormuz. There is no such thing as Ahriman. I am God, and there is no God beside me. Now this is important right here. Verse 23 and verse number 24 is very important. They came in, possessed. That's your people Israel. They came out of the land of Egypt. They came out of the land of Egypt in verse 21 with signs, with wonders, with a strong hand, with a stretched out arm, with great terror. You gave them this land, which you did swear to their fathers, to give them a land flowing with milk and honey. They came in, they possessed it, but they messed up, Carol. They obeyed not the voice. Pay attention, this is very important. Neither walked in thy law. They have done nothing of all that you commanded them to do. For that reason, you have caused all this evil to come up on them. Why did the evil come up on them? They obeyed not the voice, neither walked in the law. They have done nothing of all that you commanded them to do. You keep sitting here and don't obey the voice. Keep sitting here. Don't walk in this word and that law. Keep sitting here and don't do nothing that I command you to do. Keep sitting here and thinking you're going to go to heaven. I keep telling y'all that. It don't work like that. It's not going to work. Keep on thinking, man, because you here and you got the book, and that you go home and you get in your house, you can do what you want to do. You too, Mike. You too, Glenn. You too, Cleo. You too, Mixon. Y'all keep thinking that y'all can get up out of these chairs, go to your home, and do what the hell you want to do because I ain't around. Keep thinking that. You keep thinking that, you women in here. Keep thinking that I can give you a command out of this Bible, read these scriptures to you, and you can get up out of your chair, leave out this door, and do what the hell you want to do in the United States of America. Keep doing it. Just keep on doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. very important. They obeyed not your voice, neither lived in your instruction. So you can understand. I'm breaking it down so you can understand. They have done nothing of all that you commandest them to do. For that reason, you have caused all this evil to come upon them. He said, behold the mounts. The mounts, the word mounts, I gotta give you this, it's the word kol solah. It's C-O-L-E-L-A-H. That's pronounced like S-A. So it's the word soleah. Soleah. That's a military mound. That's a military, it means besiegers. It means besiegers. That's a military mound. That's a military mound. That's a mound, like up on a mountain, there's a bunch of military soldiers surrounding it. That's what it is, so you can understand. He said, behold the military mound, behold the besiegers, behold them surrounding them. He said, that let you know they men, they are come to the city to take it. The city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans to fight against it because of the sword, the famine, the pestilence, and, very important, and what you have spoken is come to pass. Behold, you see it. What did he say that will come to pass? What you have spoken is come to pass. Go to Deuteronomy 28. He said, what you have spoken, go to Deuteronomy 28. I got 10 minutes. Go to Deuteronomy 28. He said, what you have spoken is come to pass. Verse number 48. Deuteronomy 28:48. He said, what you have spoken is come to pass. What you have spoken is come to pass. Because you didn't obey the voice. You didn't walk in my law. You did nothing that I commanded you to do since the day I brought you out of Egypt. He said, now what is spoken is come to pass. Deuteronomy 28, verse number 48. This is what he said. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. What we just read. In hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, in lack of all things, he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he hath destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation, Babylon, against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle, fly. A nation whose tongue you shall not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. We read about this in 2 Chronicles 36. He shall eat the fruit of your cattle, the fruit of your land, until you be destroyed. Which also shall not leave ye either corn, not going to leave you no wine, no oil, no increase of your kind, flocks, sheep, until he have destroyed thee. He shall beseech thee. There we go right there. Military mound. He shall beseech thee in all your gates, until your high fence walls come down, wherein you trustest toward all your land. He shall beseech thee in all your gates. There we go right there. Your military. He's going to build a military round. He's going to military mound. He's going to surround you. He shall beseech thee in all your gates, through all your land, which the Lord thy God has given thee. You shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons. They did this in Jeremiah 19:9, Leviticus 2:20, 4:10, Ezekiel 5:10, 2 Kings 6:28. You shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons, of your daughters, which the Lord thy God have given thee in the siege, when you surround it, when the military mound is around it, in the straitness wherewith your enemies, or the evil, the enemies, or the evil, or the man of the world, or the wicked, which is the sword, shall distress you. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil, there you go, be toward his brother, and toward his wife. His eye will be too evil toward the wife of his bosom, toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat. He gonna eat his own children. Because he have nothing left in the siege, in the straitness, wherewith the evil, that's the man, shall distress thee in all your gates. He's going to bring the evil. He's going to create the evil. These are, what are they up under now? They haven't never seen it before. What if he created? New circumstances. That's all he did. He put them up under conditions they had never been up under. And in circumstances they had never seen before. And that's what he done to you. The conditions you be in, these circumstances, is already written in the book. You just don't read about them. You don't know they're in the book. And so what they did, they didn't read the law. They had forgot this. So when these conditions and circumstances came up on them, they thought that God was creating evil based on what they learned from the Persians. No. He said, no. All I'm doing is bringing upon you these conditions that I spoke of in Deuteronomy 28. And I'm reading to you right now. He said, what he has spoken is going to come to pass. And this is what he spoke. He spoke it to Moses. Let's keep reading. He said, verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil.
That's right. That's right.
Said the man I gonna be evil, not a wife I gonna be evil, toward the husband of her bosom. Why? Because of the conditions and the circumstances. And that's what happened. Because of the conditions and the circumstances that marriages enter in the world. Don't that woman turn against that man turn against the woman?
Yes.
Yes, they do. Because the circumstances and the conditions, hey, nigga, you better get a job. You get out of here. Now, you ain't gonna keep laying up in there like that. And she gonna say, I'm tired of these baby, I can't take care of them. You bring new conditions and new circumstances. That's all it is. And you think that they're coming from the devil. No, they're not. You say that nigga evil, that's God judging both of y'all. You see what he said? Well, hey man, y'all better learn this. Go back down there to verse number, go back to verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, toward his wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children. Then you go down to verse number, verse number 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, toward her son, toward her daughter, toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet. That baby just born. Y'all see this?
Yes.
So it ain't bringing no new evil. All God is bringing upon us in this world is what he has already spoken. And toward her children, which she shall bear. She throw them in the garbage, don't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she do. For she shall eat them for lack of things. When they was in the siege, they ate their babies. For she shall eat them for lack of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith evil shall distress thee in your gates. That's the man. I brought him out. I brought Cyrus. I brought Nebuchadnezzar. Correct? Incorrect? Is that wrong? Am I teaching outside the book?
No.
No.
Why? If you will not observe to do all the words of this law. Ain't that's what he just said he didn't do? He said, because you did not walk in the law. You didn't hearken to my voice. If you will not observe to do all the words of this law that I've written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God, then the Lord will make your plagues wonderful, the plagues of your seed, great plagues, great disease, of long continued, sore sickness, long continence. How about sarcoidosis? How about sugar diabetes? Long continued. Can't get rid of it. You got it. Bad heart. There you go. Then the Lord will make your diseases wonderful, the diseases of your offspring, great diseases of long continuance, sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Moreover, this is it right here, he will bring upon you all the diseases of Egypt, which you was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto you. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until you be destroyed. You shall be left through the number. Whereas you was as the what? Look what he said. The same thing we just read in Jeremiah 32. Why?
Because thou wouldst not obey the voice of the Lord thy God.